Sir, now you are audible, please, sir.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so I'm sharing my presentation. Now, first of all, I take this opportunity to thank Dr. Manisha, Dr. Sandeep for inviting me to this 5-day online faculty development program on research methodology, which is being organized by Academic and Administrative Development Center of Aryabhatta Knowledge University, Patna. So thank you, Dr. Sandeep, thank you, Dr. Manisha, and I'm very happy to be here. Look forward to
yes, sir,
yes,
it is visible, and thank you so much.
I'll be covering these topics. First is the types of research, and then I'll look at the national education policy and research, their connection, the research process. Then we will look at how to formulate research writing tools, because at the end the students have to write their thesis and the faculty members need to write their journal papers. So there are some useful writing tools that I'll be discussing in brief. And no research is possible get some ways to improve your research aptitude. So this is how I have lined up my presentation for this afternoon, and I hope to finish it within next 2 hours. I suppose the time allotted to me is 2 hours. So research in common parlance refers to search for knowledge. So this is a process of collecting, analyzing, and interpreting information to answer questions. And obviously, a good research is one which is conducted in a careful, systematic, and patient manner. And it has to be in some field of knowledge where not much work has been carried out. So, as far as possible, the research must be controlled, rigorous, systematic, valid and verifiable, empirical and critical. Valid and verifiable means you conduct some research, but it should be others should also be able to verify the results. Empirical, in the sense, refers to something that is based on measurements and observations. And empirical research is not based on some theory or some beliefs. So it is based on some numerical data. So analysis of numerical data constitutes basically empirical research. Now, our National Education Policy 2020 has laid great emphasis on on research in India. The primary reason is that there are not many Indian institutes that are in the list of top 200 institutes of the world. As far as the Times Higher Education ranking is concerned, there are only 2 IITs that are there within 200. So that is not a very good state of affairs. So our National Education Policy 2020 has laid great emphasis on promotion of research through internationalization. Internationalization basically refers to the fact that there has to be greater collaboration between the institutes at the student level, at the faculty level, at the institute level. And NEP also promotes greater mobility to students in India who may wish to visit, study at, transfer credits, or carry out research at institutions abroad and vice versa. And under the NEP, India will be promoted as a global study destination, and we will aim to provide premium education at affordable cost, thereby helping to restore the role of India as a Vishwaguru in the sense it was used in olden times. And NEP also aims to empower the faculty to conduct innovative teaching, research and service as they see best, and there are various incentives that have been posed in the NEP 2020. So the emphasis of good quality research cannot be overstated. That is why it is important that we understand the concepts of research. We should understand how statistical analysis is done. It is not enough just to carry out some statistical analysis and report the results. One has to understand the results, one has to deep dive, and then arrive at some conclusions that are meaningful in some sense. Okay. And also, one main point that is lacking in our research is that most of the research is theoretical in nature and applied research is not up to mark. So, research methodology basically refers to the systematic approach to conduct research, collect data, analyze results, and derive conclusions that are meaningful. So, proper research methodology ensures that research is structured, valid, and reliable. So, we would look at what are different types of research and what are different steps in a research process. And later in my presentation, we will look at some numerical analysis, some statistical analysis of the data as well. That will be in my second presentation. So the research process in a journey. So for a research journey, there are two important decisions to be made. One is what do you want to find out about, and then how to go about finding the answers to those questions. So the path to finding answers to research questions constitutes research methodology. Now, at different steps of our research, basically there are multiple methods that are available to us. So it is very important that we choose the models of research methodology in such a manner that we achieve the best, the objectives in the best possible manner. Now, before we go further, we must understand different types of research. So research can be classified from three different perspectives. One is application of research study. Second perspective is objectives in undertaking the research. And third is the inquiry mode. So from the point of view of application, there are two broad categories. One is pure and other one is the applied research. So pure research basically involves developing theories which may be intellectually challenging to the researcher, but which do not have any immediate application at the present time. And the knowledge procured through pure research is sought in order to add to the existing body of the research. Now, one example of pure research is conducting research on the origin of the universe. So, there are many scientists of theoretical physics field, basically they are conducting research on how the origin of the universe happened. There is research which is going on the fact that universe is expanding. As you must be knowing that there is a theory called Big Bang theory, which says that initially the whole universe was very dense in finite density mass, and because of the explosion, these planets and the galaxies, they came into being. This type of research is very intellectually challenging, but it does not lead to any practical benefits in the near term. Applied research, on the other hand, is to solve practical questions for policy formation purposes, for administration, for understanding of different phenomena. It can be exploratory, means it explores certain ideas, but it is usually descriptive in nature. We'll also come to these types of research: exploratory, descriptive, explanatory. But pure research contributes in carrying out the applied research. So the applied research is almost always done on the basis of the basic research. Now, it is the academic institutions which take up these types of research which are applied in nature. Now, in foreign universities, if you walk along a corridor, one would see Apple lab on the right hand side on the in the corridor, and you would see that big firms or big companies, they have set up their labs in institutions itself. However, this particular aspect is lacking in our universities, and therefore these research programs are not funded by industrial partners in our universities to the extent that we would like them to be. Now, applied research, one very good example is developing a new water filtration technique for improving water quality. So this is something which is applied, it has immediate application. Pure research or applied research, we could talk about expanding of the universe. It has been proved now that universe is expanding because of this very fact that the universe is expanding, we came to the conclusion that at some point in time, it would have been a very small and finite mass of infinite density. Anyway, so pure research can be intellectually simulated, but it may not be of any practical use at the moment. Now, from the viewpoint of the objectives also, we can classify research as descriptive, correlational, explanatory, and exploratory. As the word suggests, descriptive research, it describes systematically a situation, a problem, phenomena, any service or program, or it could describe attitude towards an issue. So basically the idea is to describe something. And this type of research does not establish the cause and effect relationship. Why this is happening is not dealt with in descriptive research. So analysis of the observed patterns is carried out, but the cause and effect relationship is not taken up. Correlational research attempts to discover or establish the existence of relationship between two or more aspects of the situation. For example, relationship between rainfall and flood, relationship between temperature and humidity. So in correlational research, we attempt to discover or establish the existence of a relationship between two or more variables. Okay, so this I have already discussed in the previous slide also. Exploratory research is a type of research that seeks to understand the cause and effect relationship between variables. So here we look at the cause and what is the effect. So we basically look at why and how a certain phenomena is occurring. And this type of research is often conducted after exploratory and descriptive research to explore causal links between the variables. Exploratory research is undertaken to explore an area where not much work has been carried out. For example, exploring the impact of 3D printing on construction efficiency. Now, nowadays, it is possible to do 3D printing. We put mortar in the machine, and then the machine is programmed to build walls, columns,